I'm here with Pat Coleman. She's one of this morning's awardees. Tell me a little bit about what inspired you to get into the work that you do.
Well, I was inspired by my father, who was one of the first African-American physicians in San Francisco. And I was sort of headed in a different route until my father one day was speaking with me and said, you know, it's not about what you get, it's about what you give in life. And he wanted me to come work with him, which I did, and it was probably the best thing I could have done in my life. It really set the trajectory of my life in a different direction, and I began to see why it was that my father was so beloved in the Bayview district. I was never known as Pat Coleman. I was always known as Dr. Coleman's daughter. And I've heard so many wonderful stories. Even just a few minutes ago, one of the people here was telling me a story of how my father came to the office on a Saturday to diagnose her daughter who was having trouble finding out exactly what was going on. So the Bayview continues to be an area of need, and my commitment is to be there and make sure that those needs are met.
Absolutely. Well, you also mentioned that this is your first Golden Girls Hats and Tea event. So tell me a little bit about how you feel about being here and to be an awardee your first time attending this event.
Well, it's a wonderful honor to be here and to see all of the beautiful ladies here celebrating things that people are doing, positive things in the community. So often we hear negative stories that we're not really cohesive and doing really positive things, and I think this is an example that shows that yes, we still are able to come together and to do very wonderful things for the community.
Well, thank you so much for chatting with us. You look lovely. It was a pleasure to meet you. So I'm here with fabulous woman here, and I'm going to have her introduce herself to everyone.
Hi, my name is Sophie Maxwell, and I'm a former member of the San Francisco Board of Supervisors, and I represented District 10.
Thank you for stopping to chat with us. You look great today. So tell me a little bit about what inspired you to get into your work, and tell me a little bit about your community involvement and any type of obstacles that you may have faced as an African-American woman getting involved in your line of work.
Well, my first reason was because my son was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma, and I felt it was because of the environment. So I started working on power plants and sewer plants and any and everything I could think of that could have been a part of this. Well, we lost his battle, but from that, I decided that I would go further, and I would become a member of the San Francisco Board, because then I could really help policy and make a difference. So it wasn't because everything was really great, it was because there was a need and something that I felt I had to do for my entire city.
Tell me a little bit about what you're rocking here. You look fabulous today at the Hats and Gloves Tea. I don't see you with any gloves, but you have one of the most unique hats I've seen today.
Well, this is an outfit that is African inspired. It's a friend of mine who is a designer called Damali, and she goes to Africa and gets fabrics, and then she designs them into kind of, regular everyday kind of thing. And then the hat is from another African-American designer out of Washington, D.C., and there's a coat that matches it, but I was real surprised that it all went together.
It does, absolutely goes together. And thank you so much for chatting with us. I appreciate your time.
Hello everyone, I'm Carla Thomas, and I'm a proud journalist with the Post News Group, among other things, and it's just such an honor to be here with the NCBW. Maxine Hickman, Eileen Murphy-Reed, and her team are just such wonderful and lovely and warm ladies. I'm just so humbled and honored to be on the other end of the event. I'm so used to covering it and putting everybody else on blast that it's a very strange yet wonderful feeling to be recognized today.
Well, you look great. I would like to point out your boots. They are stunning. And you
trust me, I had some diva heels I had planned on wearing, but with the rain pouring.
Trust me, I understand. I definitely understand. So you mentioned you're so used to covering these type of events as a journalist, and we're here with a lot of empowering Black women who, of course, face several obstacles getting involved into their line of work. So if you can talk a little bit about that. This month is Women's History Month. So if you'd just like to address what it's been like, your journey to where you are today.
Oh, it's quite awesome. I'm the product of wonderful parents that poured into what they could have poured into 10 children, too. Gail and George Staples. They're no longer with me, but they're here in spirit, and I can't thank them enough for giving me all the tools that I needed in life. I'm a native San Franciscan, Mercy High School graduate, Howard University graduate. And so, when you have the tools to be empowered, and when God basically blesses you with your destined to do, because I've known since I was a child that I would write. My journey began in high school, writing for the San Francisco Sun-Reporter under the Dr. Carlton B. Goodlett. And I had the opportunity to work with Rochelle Metcalf, Emory Douglas, who's a Black Panther, just a lot of powerful people. The very first articles I ever wrote were on Jesse Jackson doing his first presidential run, Bobby Brown early on in his career at a concert, and from there, all sorts of delegates from different countries. And so from there, I was a producer at BET. So I've done all sorts of media, and I'm currently working on some advertising campaigns. So it's been quite a journey. It's been awesome. I look around the room today, and I'm inspired by and have covered people like Supervisor Malia Cohen, Supervisor Sophie Maxwell, the 100 Black women, all the honorees that they've honored in the past, whether they're keynotes or honorees were Nancy Pelosi, Teresa Cox, all the journalists and broadcasters that I grew up watching, Valerie Coleman, Beverly Davis, and so on. So it's just a beautiful time. And as women, we need to look out for one another. We need to stay empowered. I'm also on the board of Girls Inc. So just a couple weeks ago, I spent time with the former Prime Minister of Australia. She was the first female to lead 26 million people of that country. And it was lovely to interact with her. So it's just been a beautiful journey.
Absolutely. Well, you mentioned being inspired by some of the women here in the room today, and you're definitely an inspiration to young journalists like myself and other Black women on their journey to success. So thank you for stopping by to chat with us, and we appreciate your time.
Thank you, Sierra. God bless you in your career. And if there's anything that I can do for you, I'm here to serve. So.
Thank you.
My name is Teresa Willis.
And tell us a little bit about what you do.
Yes, right now I'm currently a law student, but I also have a background in broadcast journalism.
So as you know, it's Women's History Month. We're here at the National Coalition of 100 Black Women's Golden Girls Hats and Tea. So tell me a little bit about what it's like to be here this morning in this event, and if you've ever attended one of these events before.
Well, actually, I think it's a tremendous honor to actually be here, because just to see a number of Black women together, and there is unity and there's a cohesiveness that is amazing. And also being an African American woman myself, and just thinking about Black History Month being last month, and just seeing how far we've come, and to be in a situation, in a setting where we are honoring one another for just tremendous community service work. Carla Thomas, she's being honored, which I was invited by. She's being honored for her community service that she's done in the community, and just knowing that the people that are being awarded have done tremendous things, entrepreneurs, just powerhouse women. So I think it's just incredible to be here, and I'm excited, and I'm just inspired. And me, myself, as a law student, I really want to get into just helping the community. I have a number of different things that I'm working on as well, as far as being able to contribute to making society a better place, and also making sure that we have positive relationships among the African American community and law enforcement.
Well, I'm glad to be here in your presence, as well as all these other ladies. Let me compliment you on how stunning you look. Can we get a zoom in on her fabulous shoes here? And she's got the matching earrings going on, so you look fabulous. You look like you're empowered, and it was a pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you so much. You too, and congratulations, and keep up the good work.
You mentioned that you always wanted to be a lawyer ever since you were a little girl, and you succeeded in that. So tell us, did you ever be involved in a case that dealt with young people that really impacted you or resonated with you?
Yes, so one of the most powerful cases that I dealt with was around domestic violence, and what resulted is that we, with our agency, with Sojourner Truth, we were able to actually get the children reunified. And this particular case, the mother was previously incarcerated, and so she thought that her rights were terminated. And our particular foster youth, she became the first foster youth to be on the Youth Commission. And then from there, she went back and got a degree at San Francisco State, and she now runs her own nonprofit agency dealing with trafficking. So it's so powerful that when you have a youth that went through all sorts of trauma, to be put in, to actually devote their life to go back out and help. And so now she does trainings at our agency with our youth. And what's so powerful is that they call it a peer-to-peer training, and that's when a survivor who's actually a previous foster child ends up actually nurturing and caring for a new foster youth and letting them know that regardless where you start, it's where you finish.